Welcome back to another Pokemon What If Wednesday, where every Wednesday morning we go through last week's investing and collecting questions, where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video and one person's question will help me make the thumbnail every single week. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and make sure you put repeat question. It will get moved to the top. Maybe shorten it up a little bit if it was too long. And I am super busy this week. I'm actually going to New York City. So this What If Wednesday is going to be a little bit shorter, like 17 questions. So I had to cut a lot of questions, even a couple repeat ones. So please drop them again and I'll get them next week. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. It always helps me make my final decision. And we do have to give a big thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is PokeNotify. If you guys are sick and tired of missing out on all of these drops and pre-orders, and you guys have signed up for all the store alerts and free discords and still haven't been able to get anything, definitely give PokeNotify a try. They have a 3-day free trial, and if you use the code PokeBeard25 at checkout, you receive 25% off your first month. So definitely check them out. All the links are in the description. But all right, first question. This is from @BrandonBurned2469. So this question will be a little different than others. Do you have any recommendations for those who have fallen into debt because of Pokemon and FOMO? So that's a super good question. It's actually one of the reasons why I started this channel. I have been saying now for 2.5 years, you guys need to be patient. You know, try to wait for the stuff to come back down in price. Try to get stuff at MSRP. Do not overpay. And, you know, you're going to have a way better collection. Like, my entire goal is to help people save as much money as possible so they can get the best collection possible. And if you're going into debt over Pokemon, from what I have seen, it's usually the people who are addicted to ripping open packs. I had a buddy, same thing, spent like $5,000 on his credit card, just ripping open packs, was living paycheck to paycheck. But here's the thing, he also did that 3 years before at the casino. So I feel like you kind of got an addictive personality when that does happen. And I totally get it. You watch every big Pokemon YouTuber, they are ripping open hundreds and hundreds of packs, or they're literally pulling a master set, which is just crazy and the biggest waste of money that you could possibly do. So it gets people to want to do that. You know, if you see your favorite YouTuber do something, you're going to probably want to try to do it. So just definitely stick to buying singles, buy packs every once in a while. And if you are actually in debt right now, definitely sell your cards and get out of debt first. Get yourself settled, get a nice little cushion in the bank, get a clear credit card, then you can start, you know, having fun and buying some Pokemon cards. But let's say you went into debt buying sealed product. And usually if you do go into debt buying sealed product, it means you're buying them at market price, which we never do. Especially with brand new sets where we have, you know, a couple years to still find these products for a really good deal. Because you will eventually stumble across a couple of them at Walmart and Target. Like, it's going to eventually happen in the next couple of years. Or, you know, a lot of this stuff could come down in price. So again, just try not to pay these market prices. The only thing I would ever, honestly, in my opinion, pay a little over market price for is like Pokemon Center ETBs, just because they are somewhat limited compared to the rest of the stuff we get. So if you are in debt right now from buying sealed products at market, definitely sell off a ton of stuff. Maybe keep your top 5 things or something like that that you can just sit on and, you know, hopefully they'll keep going up in value. But definitely get out of debt ASAP. This is not that serious to where you need to be ruining your financial life over Pokemon cards. But yeah, I totally get it. It is super tough coming to the hobby when you are brand new, which is one of the reasons why I started my What If Wednesday. You know, I wanted a place to where anybody could go ask any single question and they're not going to get made fun of or anything like that. Like, if you go to Reddit, you know, people constantly get made fun of on there, and people even make videos about the people asking questions on Reddit. So I just want to help the people that are new to the hobby, and I want to help the people who've been here for a very long time so we can keep making awesome plays, and hopefully I can show you stuff that maybe you don't know. So yeah, just remember, it is not worth it to go into debt over Pokemon cards ever. So just, you know, try to get that savings up, try to stack up some cash. You know, picture your cash like Pokemon cards. You're collecting Pokemon cards, start collecting cash. And once you got a nice little cushion there, then you can enjoy the hobby. But priorities first. And one more thing too about like the FOMO stuff, you got to think, those cards are going to be there in 3 months. They're going to be there in 6 months. They're going to be there in a year, 2 years, 3 years. And if you really want those cards, you're still going to want them in a year when they're much cheaper. So just always remember that. And I know a lot of times it's kind of like a flexing thing, like you want to show your friends you got the new cool card, but it really doesn't matter. But all right, next question is from @NickHendricks6852. If you had $500 to start your seal collection, what would you start with and buy first? So if I was starting completely from scratch right now in this market, clearly I would definitely try to find these Pokemon restocks and try to get some Destin Rivals or 151 or whatever it is. Like in Minnesota, everything pretty much restocks on Friday. Like if you go to Walmart or Target on a Friday at like 10 o'clock in the morning, there's a huge line of people just waiting. So you could do that and try to get a bunch of stuff at MSRP. But in my opinion, I like to get stuff that's a little bit older first before it's, you know, gone forever. So I would probably start off with like a Silver Tempest booster box, just like 350-ish. Even Chilly Rain, you can find it for 400. But we'll just do the Silver Tempest here. So like 350, and then honestly, I'd probably get a Pokemon Center ETB. Even though there is a small chance some of this stuff does get reprinted, you know, especially the Scarlet and Violet era. But I mean, even like a Brilliant Stars Pokemon Center ETB, I know there's no promo, but still, that's a super cool box. Market price 140, so you'd be right at 500. But there's quite a few Pokemon Center ETBs that are around 150 or less. So that's probably what I would start with. I know it's not a ton or a really big collection for $500, but at least you're getting quality stuff to start off. So many people start off with like average collection boxes and all this other random stuff, which, you know, does pretty good. It just takes a while to sell when you go to sell it, and you're definitely going to be taking a cut compared to like a booster box. You can get much closer to market, in my opinion. So yeah, I'd probably get a solid booster box, especially right now. I'd much rather buy a Sword and Shield booster box than any Scarlet and Violet era booster box at those prices. But all right, next question is from @Leo1324. Thoughts on buying Call of Legends Holo Energies? I recently discovered them and I really like the artwork, but they are $100 to $200 on eBay. I'm a huge fan of these. I am obsessed. So if you guys do not know, these are the greatest energies ever created. They come in a very nice holo. Now, to be honest, if you want to get these cards and you don't care so much about the holo part, you can get the originals, which is from Heart Gold, Soul Silver. You know, and we got right here, Psychic Energy, the Espeon's $30. Even the Darkness Energy Umbreon, raw price $36. And I normally like the stuff where it's like the first appearance, because technically the Call of Legend ones are a reprint. They just made them look a little better with the reverse holo and stuff. But yeah, if you cannot afford those, you can definitely get the Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But in my opinion, I really feel like all of those energies are pretty slept on, especially in like a PSA 9, PSA 10 quality, because no one took care of those cards at all. So they are super, super rare in really clean condition. But yeah, I'm a massive fan. Best energies we've ever gotten. Next is from Joshua Chemo 0124. Hey Beard, why do you think the regular Journey Together booster box is currently worth more than the enhanced booster box? So if you look, we got the regular one here. There is 107 of them on TCG Player with 26 sellers. And if we check the enhanced, there's 198 of them with 69 sellers. So there's just more enhanced ones. It's just that right now the print that we got for the enhanced booster boxes was much bigger than the non-enhanced. That is literally the only reason. Next is from World's Worst GMR. Hey, with all the hype around modern sets, it's become impossible to collect and completely taken the fun out of the hobby. So I'm going to shift my attention towards vintage master sets. What vintage set would you suggest I start with and why? Thanks for your feedback and appreciate the work you do for the community. This is one of my all-time favorite questions. So in my opinion, the very first set people should try to master when you're getting into vintage is Southern Islands. It's very simple. The Mew is the most expensive. You know, it says raw here, 173. It's definitely going to vary depending on condition, but these cards are so affordable. The reverse holos are awesome. The arts are crazy. And if you guys did not know, the cards actually connect. You can even buy the binder for like $50 and it shows the actual pictures. It is a 3-ring binder, so I probably wouldn't recommend putting your cards in there. But if you master set this, definitely get the binder too because it's so cool. But yeah, let's see if we can see anything connecting here. So like here's Onyx's face here, and there's Onyx there. So like it all connects kinda. You can see half the Pokemon in one card and the other half in the other card. So this is definitely one of the coolest vintage sets ever. Literally came out in 2001. The total set value is $666. That's super easy. And there's only 18 cards. You can actually buy this sealed with the binder all together with all the cards. It's getting very expensive. We're talking thousands of dollars now. And in my opinion, that's another reason why this set is such an awesome one to collect, because to get it, you know, right out of the package is so expensive. And these non-holo cards and PSA 10s are very affordable. The reverse holos, you know, they're all over $1,000 because they're so tough to grade. But yeah, the non-holos are very, very affordable, raw and in a PSA 10. So I think this is the #1 set that people should start off with when jumping into vintage sets. Next is from Death to Hope. What's your thoughts on the Burger King Pokeballs with the gold cards in it? I have the set of blue and red sealed. So they're actually going up in price. We do have a couple crazy PSA 9 sales and stuff like the Zard. June 14, 2025, 665 bids. July 1st, 660. July 14th, 625. But we got the complete sealed collection here, sold for $400, $399, $312. $325 best offer accepted. When these used to sell, I don't know, during like the actual dip, I bought multiple of these collections at about $150 for the whole lot. Someone got the whole set here of red for $400. Someone got the full set of red and 5 blues for $400. We got all blues here for $312. We got all the reds at 325, best offer accepted. I think they're cool. They're just honestly super, super common. I think they're much better for like display and stuff like that and nostalgia. I can't see them being super, super expensive, but I could see them maybe getting up to like $500 for the whole set. Maybe 5, 10 years, 15 years down the road. You never know what's going to happen, especially with like vintage stuff. So next is from Metatcg TCG. Hey Beard, big fan of the channel. What are your thoughts on picking up a PSA 10 Ninetales from City Flames? Hard to grade, beautiful card, and it's down about half since its peak. I think that is a great purchase. Has a pop of 3,557 in the 10 and 7,805 in the 9, even 2,429 in the 8. So yeah, that is definitely a very solid pickup. Got up to about 340 and now last sold 175, 168, 171. So yeah, definitely solid. It's one of the best illustration rares that we got in the entire era also. Next is from TJ Bartlemus. What do you think about the Hidden Fates Jesse and James full art long term? It is the only full art card of these two iconic classic Team Rocket characters from the anime, and I think the art is fantastic. With them no longer in the anime, I doubt we will see additional cards in the future. Thoughts? So I think that card's going to come down in price even more. You got to think, this was a $2, $3 card for the longest time. It is super easy to pull. Like, you could open up your Hidden Fates ETB, odds are you're probably going to pull this card. There's 11,325 in a 10. There's probably another 5,000 of them at PSA right now getting graded. And there's 4,987 in a 9. But I can see this card leveling out maybe around $20. You never know. But yeah, I think at like $40, $50 is a little too high, especially we just had a bunch of Team Rocket hype. Next is from TD Morton 29, to the Beard of Knowledge. I was curious to hear more about the logistics behind your channel. For example, do you plan to hire editors to give yourself more family time or to record more content? Or do you have any specific goals to achieve with scaling your channel? So super good question. I kind of want to hire an editor, but I'm also very, very cheap. And, you know, even with me recording and editing, I still work probably less hours than your average 40 hours a week, even though I'm on my phone constantly commenting back and thinking about stuff. So, you know, maybe down the road, if I get a little bit bigger, like view wise, like if I start hitting every video 20K views, I would maybe hire an editor or something like that. As long as it's not ridiculously expensive, I honestly have no clue how much it would cost. So when it comes to goals for the channel, I have quite a few. So I'd love to hit 1 million subscribers one day. That is definitely a big dream of mine. And then for like vending, I want to be for sure the biggest vendor in Minnesota, but I'd love to be one of the biggest vendors in all of the United States and possibly all of the world. You know, be on that Bulbasaur level. That's what I'm hoping for. So now we're talking about the rest of my channel. So when I first started out, all I wanted, you know, one of my goals was just to get every video to at least 1,000 views per video. You know, when I posted it hits 1,000. And I did that, and then I did it for 5,000, and then I did it for 10,000. Every once in a while, my Throwback Thursday doesn't hit 10,000, but, you know, it all depends on thumbnails and titles and stuff. And I'm just so happy to see people coming to watch Throwback Thursday, because before, you know, my Market Monday would get 10K views, 15K views. My Throwback Thursday would get like 3,000 views. Now my Throwback Thursdays get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 views. So I'm very happy about that. So my next goal would be to get all my videos above 20,000 views. But honestly, I'm not just crazy obsessed with views and all that. Like if my views take a hit, that's definitely going to happen. We're going to have our cold times in Pokemon. All I want to do is just stay consistent and literally never miss a day. So that way I can just help hundreds and hundreds of people keep saving money on their collections and, you know, growing their collections the best way possible. So my goals in order would probably be growing the vending right now and getting those vending videos to really pop off. And then, you know, getting my other videos all to 20,000 views. And then from there, just keep working on subscribers and getting more connections and stuff like that. That's another thing too. I would love to have like maybe my own card show one day or something crazy. I'm even talking with people in California right now that are trying to rent out a big building to where they have like a permanent card show there where you can go there Monday through Sunday and everybody has a bunch of tables and stuff. I think that'd be super cool. So just other business opportunities like that and other connections. You know, I'd love to work with some of the biggest people in the hobby. I think that would be a blast also. So yeah, I got a lot of big goals for sure when it comes to Pokemon. I also would love to travel the whole world and go to all these different shows and card shops and, you know, meet a ton of awesome people. That would definitely be a dream of mine for sure. But all right, next question is from Broden116, Beard Sensei. I did a lot of prep to be ready for the Mega Evolution Pokemon Center drop, all notifications on, and pass the human capture check. I forgot to set up screen everlocking. Do you have other hints for being ready for potential releases? So Rattle just dropped an entire video about this. So go watch Rattle's video. It's probably a couple days ago now, or maybe a week ago when I post this, because I had to record this early. But he goes into full detail, and then you can also check the comments too. People have a bunch of tips and tricks in there for sure. Next is from @RoxyBoxy69. What do you think about PC ETB seal cases as far as big premiums? Do you think going forward they are really going to start going up in prices for all sets, considering you cannot order sealed cases anymore, and most likely for the foreseeable future? I definitely could see those sealed cases having a premium for sure. People love sealed cases. Next is from Matt Bellardi 4101. PokeBeard. What would you say your favorite Pokemon game is? Mine would probably be Colosseum for the GameCube. Colosseum is definitely up there, probably my top 5. Now, my most nostalgic game would probably be Crystal, just because I honestly thought it was the most beautiful game. Like, I'm not talking about the actual gameplay, just the actual cartridge itself was absolutely beautiful. I was obsessed with it, and it's the reason why I love Suicune to this day. But all right, next question is from The Green Flamingo 105. How many times have you had bad experiences with PSA, and how do you personally determine which cards to send to PSA? I've had super good luck with PSA. I haven't had any problems, and I'm going to make an entire video on like how to grade on which cards to send in and everything like that. But honestly, you just got to look for the centering, make sure the centering is really good. Check the front and back, and make sure there's not like a bunch of white nicks and stuff. If you're seeing it super clean, you're not seeing whitening anywhere, and like I said, it's centered good, you have a very, very good chance at a PSA 10. Next is from John Ketchum22. Hey Beard, I was wondering if you can explain to us how to get started on vending at shows in detail. Thanks, Matt. This is another video I'm going to make, how to start vending, but a lot of people overthink it when it's honestly pretty simple to just get started. You literally just need like maybe a binder of some cards and some cards that are maybe like $10 to $100 where you can fill up like one display case at the very least, and then bring some sealed products that you're trying to get rid of if you do want to do that, and then bring some cash and you're honestly good to go. Make sure you have PayPal, Venmo, stuff like that downloaded and ready, and you're rocking. And then once you start doing these shows, every single show you'll get better and better at it. You know, you'll get more inventory, you're going to find better deals. It just happens. So you just got to go out and do it. I feel like a lot of people get scared and they kind of, you know, panic and overthink and they just don't ever do it. Just go. It's a blast. You know, you got to bring usually maybe an extra chair if you got a buddy or something. You got to usually bring a shelf for the back if you got a bunch of sealed. But if you don't have very many cards, you could do half your table cards and the other half sealed. A lot of people do that. So you just got to try to fill up one table's worth. All right, next question is from Ferguson1134. I have roughly 1K worth of sealed collection boxes and tins. Should I sell everything and reinvest it back into booster boxes and or slabs? Thank you. So I definitely would not reinvest them back into slabs if we're talking like investment wise. And right now, Scarlet Violet Era booster boxes are so expensive, I probably wouldn't buy a ton of those. But you could definitely sell, you know, maybe 70% of that and pick up some Sword and Shield booster boxes or maybe some Pokemon Center ETBs. But you got to remember, you're not going to get 100% of market. So you're going to get, you know, luckily 80%, if that. And so you're going to be losing money on that. So I definitely wouldn't get rid of everything. Keep, you know, your best smaller products of whatever you got of the best sets, like 151 or, you know, whatever it is. But all right, last question is from @Binstees8881. Hey, Bearded One, I made a purchase of $200 on 10 cards off of TCG, and the seller stuffed all the cards in a 1-penny sleeve. I had to use scissors to cut the sleeve and get them out. Would you leave a negative review? If you're wondering about the condition, all 8 near mint cards would realistically grade 7 to 8s. So that's one of my all-time biggest pet peeves. Now, I know you instantly just want to leave them a bad review, but you should always hit them up first. A lot of times they will send you like a partial refund or anything like that. Like on eBay, that's happened to me quite a few times. You just got to contact them, let them know you're not happy, and they'll try to make it right. And if they don't seem like they care at all, then definitely leave them a bad review. That is absolutely ridiculous. But just try to give them the benefit of the doubt first. Maybe they're brand new, they don't know what they're doing or something like that. But most of the times, you know, they know they're not supposed to do that, especially for a $200 order. Let's say you order 10 cards at, you know, $7 for the entire lot of 10 cards. They're probably going to come in one sleeve. So just know that on TCG Player, all they're trying to do is get the shipping cost down so they can just send it as, you know, just in the white envelope or whatever for as cheap as possible. So yeah, definitely hit them up first. So hopefully you can get some money back, because if you leave them a bad review and you don't get any money back, you know, you're still out and you still got those average cards. But this way you at least have a chance of getting your money back. And if not, then definitely leave them a bad review. But all right, that'll say it's Pokemon What If Wednesday. And again, I do apologize for this one being a little shorter and skipping so many questions. I'll get back to it next week. And then if you guys like this content, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. And then if you guys want to support more, you can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube membership. It's only 99 cents a month. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you want to watch my last Pokemon Market Monday, which was a crazy one, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.